Well, behind me is one of my favourite questions, put on a photograph taken by my little grandson. I kind of like it. It sums it up really. It sums up the question: what is beautiful to you? I was speaking last night. To be honest, I was a little bit surprised because I was expecting a slightly older group of more college age, but was speaking to more of a kind of a youth group age group, and I kind of pivoted my message to this question and put it right in the middle of everything I shared. What is beautiful to you? I really do believe it's one of the most powerful questions we can ask. But in some respects, I think we've been restricted from asking this question or acting upon it in the church. I sometimes say that we've been held back a little by religion. And of course, one of the things that I passionately love to do is to erase the secular sacred divide. You see, the whole earth is being filled with the knowledge of the glory of some very wealthy and some very rich men who've been very successful. The truth is that they only have one quarter of what we have access to. They're made in the image of God and they've maximized that. They're not, though, filled with the Spirit. They don't have the mind of Christ, and they don't have Christ in them, the hope of glory, and we do. And I think one of the things that has often limited us is that we haven't raised people to discover their passion and to know that they're sent out into the world. And one of the most legitimate expressions is that of creativity and inventiveness. But I have to say that discovering beauty, what's beautiful to you, applies to every area of life. For some, revival, of course, is beautiful. Soul winning, it's beautiful to all of us, but some have that more focused direction on that. But for others, I know that the discovery of what is beautiful is a real key. What is beautiful to you? And then how will you take what is beautiful to you and use it to bring glory to God? Psalm 27 is a great passage for this. One thing I ask, the one thing question. One thing I ask, that I may seek, that I may dwell in the house of the Lord. Probably means more correctly that I may dwell in the constant awareness of his presence, and there behold his beauty. And then the psalmist says, and inquire of him. And for me, that's an indication of ask questions. And so that's really what I want to challenge you with. I believe that one of the keys for the sharing, the preaching of the gospel will be through beauty and creativity. I believe it's time for a new renaissance, and that renaissance can touch every area of life. But I think in particular, the area of creativity and inventiveness and the arts and music and movies and such like. We live in the days of the greatest access to creativity, and it's time for us to make a choice, to make that choice of discovering what is beautiful to us, and then ask ourselves the question, how do I take what is beautiful to me and use it to bring glory to your name? A new renaissance will be for me a new expression of creativity and inventiveness that brings glory to God. That original renaissance, so beautiful. You can see even when a painting was made in that season, by the way Christ was depicted on the cross, I understand. The tragedy is that that renaissance actually gave way to much of modern day secularism, because it ended really with humanism and the first steps towards man saying, look what we did without God. And of course, you and I know that it's with God, co-laboring with God. We were created by the Creator to be creative and to use our creativity to point mankind to the Creator. Whoever you are, whatever you do, you can be a Renaissance doctor and discover new ways of diagnosing and treating. You can be a Renaissance teacher and discover new ways of articulating, communicating, and teaching. You can be, of course, a Renaissance artist, musician. Look at the incredible impact that somebody like Taylor Swift is having around the world by filling stadiums and with her music, and of course using that without God to provide great help to people in cities, donating to food banks and other ministries and charities in every city she goes to. We live in the days of the greatest opportunity, the greatest change. But I believe significantly we live in the days of the greatest access to creativity. And one of the things that I love to do is to erase that secular sacred divide. And I prodded a group of young people last night with the question, what is beautiful to you? And no longer should we be afraid of sending the next generation into those difficult arenas of the arts and music, where previously perhaps we were afraid that they would influence our children. But the truth is that we're a generation that is understanding our identity. We're an identity generation. And therefore, we can much more freely send people into those challenging places because we know that they're secure in who they are. And therefore, they are more likely to challenge and pollute those environments for the kingdom of heaven. We are a identity generation and a destiny generation. Of course, in the world, those are the two greatest challenges. Who am I and why am I here? But we know that we're sons and daughters of the Creator, the King, our good Father. And we know why we're here too. And those are incredible keys. We are here to be a part of filling the earth with the knowledge of the glory of God as the waters cover the sea. And so I just want to challenge you. What is beautiful to you? I really do know that this is a powerful question. And for too long, we've been held back. But this question is a key to unlocking your passion, discovering the desires that God has put already in your heart. And the question is, how will you take what is beautiful to you and use it to bring glory to God? Perhaps it's creativity, inventiveness, a message, a theme. But it starts by unlocking what is beautiful. It's related to the one thing. And we know that the one thing in our lives is one of the most powerful things, powerful forces to propel us into the fullness of what we are called to do and to be. What is beautiful to you?